good. Is it worse? Well, you probably won't do that again.
So you do both sides. Okay.
Well, with Erin, because it was right in the middle, and it kind of hurt when she moved both sides. And I could see in her face that the quality of movement wasn't there either. She was like that, like, pain, but also like quality of movement. If she just said, this side feels great, well, this side's all pain-facey, well, then I'd probably just do right rotation routine. So, found the area of stiffness. If I'm thinking manipulation, high velocity, low amplitude manipulation, I'm thinking rotation anyway. So I don't necessarily have to spend way too much time figuring out the exact motion. I go through all of that. I push this way, I kind of push that way, I move things around a little bit. Lateral flexion, you're not going to find. If you can dig through 3 inches of tissue, get underneath 1 TP, which TPs in the lumbar spine are these pokey outy little things, and then get above the other one and push it like that, then you need to teach this class. But you're not going to be able to do that on 90%. You can't even do it very well in the thoracic spine, even though we're only talking about that much tissue. So lumbar spine, yeah, good luck with that. So you can, and I will, I'll palpate nice and slow, but comfortable. I might put a little bit of pressure in there, see how she can handle that. I'm not noticing her muscles react to this, but how are you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah. If I'm doing that, I'm not feeling your muscles react, where she's like, yeah, that's really painful. Well, then I know at least my limitations. I know I'm not going to do anything that requires that kind of force. That'd be horrible. It'd be mean, too. If I'm palpating like that and her whole body's reacting, I'm definitely not going to do anything that's going to cause that. Because her body's telling me to stop doing that. And I'm not going to try to convince her body otherwise in the second that it would take to do the high velocity. So, now we need to talk a little bit before the class is over. Oh, come on. All right. A little bit in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah.
About how to refine your lumbar setup, and we'll continue with this. But I'll kind of give you a preview. Do you mind if I just do a setup, honey?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and lie on your side.
Which side?
Oh, it doesn't matter which one. Face me.
So if it's right rotation, you lay on your left side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me explain this, and then next week we'll go over how to refine the setup a little bit, no matter what it is.
Okay.
So let's just do a little bit of rotation. Remember, before you can hang out like that. Okay. So look at the way her body's rotated. Correct. She's rotated. Her upper body's rotated to the right. Everybody buy that. You should buy it because it's true. When we talk about developing rotation at 2 segments, the only rotation we can do here is a right rotation. Because the only thing that's going to happen, if we're in between 2 segments, is the top segment's going to rotate this way, the bottom segment's going to rotate that way. That's the only way we can develop torque in the spine right now. It doesn't matter that I'm pushing on this bone that way. What matters is what's happening at the spine, and that is this between 2 segments. It just so happens that when I do this manipulation, I contact the lower vertebrae of the motion segment, but it's still right rotation. That happens at the spine.
Total right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking like L4, L5, L4 is doing what the upper body's doing, L5 is doing what the lower body's doing. It's right rotation of L4, L5. That doesn't mean it's left rotation of L5, S1. There's no rotation happening at L5, S1 if I have this torsion happening at just that one joint. So, does that make sense? If everybody stood up and I asked you to rotate your low back to the right, you would rotate like that. There's no left rotation happening in my spine in my low back right now. In fact, all of my lumbar vertebrae should be rotating to the right a little bit. If I were able to take my lower body and create torsion just at one joint, it would have to be in right rotation. That's the only way to. So it doesn't matter really, because I could adjust the left rotation restriction just like this, and it might free it up. I can adjust an extension restriction like this, and it might free it up. So, and that's where, like the whole chiropractic community, if you talk to anybody that didn't graduate from Western states, they would talk about this the exact opposite way. And even people that graduated from Western states, if it was past like late 90s, they talk about it the exact opposite way, and they'd call this a left rotation restriction because you're pushing this bone to the left. But that's thinking about bones in space with nothing around them. And that's just not how the spine works. But in reality, it doesn't matter that much. And that's probably why you've had almost 100 years of people adjusting and thinking about things different, like backwards, but still actually getting results. Because sometimes the motion doesn't matter, I don't think. All right, let's leave it at that. I'll come back. You guys come back.